Legend, let's get this show on the road, man. Hey guys, welcome back to the Betar Project. This episode we got Logan Thorpe, my man. Thank you for coming on. How are you?
Good, brother. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
We just spoke before about you just received the grant. How good's that?
Yeah, mate, it's really good. It just helps, I guess helps me fulfill the vision, it's called a Healthy Towns grant, and it's kind of my mission to have a really big impact on my local community. So, yeah, really helps with that.
Are you the only gym in town?
Nah, there's a Globo gym in town, and there's a guy who does PT out of that.
You guys the biggest gym or?
Nah, it's probably bigger than what we are. Yeah, definitely bigger than what we are. It has indoor sports courts and whatnot.
Okay, yeah. So for all the listeners out there, you're from Condobolin, which I looked up is about 5 hours away from me, so 6 hours from the city, smack bang in the middle of nowhere. What's it like?
Middle of New South Wales.
What's it like growing up there? What was your upbringing like?
Yeah, population 3,000 people. So literally you walk down the street and you know everyone. So it's quite a good town to run a business in if you're doing the right thing, I guess. If you're not doing the right thing, probably not such a good town to run a business.
Yeah.
My parents actually ran the local swimming pool. So my upbringing was all summer was around the pool. So it's sort of a 6-month contract in Condo. Still run it to this day, actually. But, yeah, a lot of swimming training. My old man was the swimming coach. So, I used to do pretty well at swimming out here, and then you'd go to sort of the next level, which would be Bathurst, and you'd do all right. And then you'd go to Sydney for state, and you'd be in lane 7, heat 1, and just get towed up, just like a different level, eh?
Yeah. Small fish in a big pond.
Yeah, that's right.
How many siblings do you have?
I have 2 brothers, so I'm the oldest. And I feel like the oldest, I probably was not the most hard done by, but mum and dad were more strict on me. And then as it got to Duncan, a little bit leaner, and then Regan just had free run of the wheel.
It's always like that. They're strict on the first one and the rest are just whatever.
Yeah, but I'm glad it was that way, to be honest with you. And I'm sure it'll be the same with me with my kids.
How many kids you got? Is it 3?
I've got 2 and another one on the way. So I'm going to have 3 under 3 in another 8 weeks' time. So
exciting times.
Yeah, I probably haven't hit that exciting stage yet. This third one was a little unexpected, but anyhow, everything happens for a reason.
All boys, or is there a girl in there too?
Yeah, 2 boys. Not sure what the third one is. So, I'm kind of just another boy. Yeah, well, all of ours have been surprises. It'd be good if it was another boy, just simply because, all the clothes could just hand me down.
Yeah.
And then I don't have to go for a house full of Barbie dolls and stuff as well. Got enough toys without any more.
Exactly. It's going to keep you on your toes too. 3 kids at the age of under 3. Holy shit, man.
Mate, 2 have got me on my toes, so I don't know what's coming for me.
It's going to drive you crazy, but it's all a part of it. You love them, so it's all good.
Yeah, that's it.
So you grew up playing what sport? So you did swimming. What other sports did you play growing up?
Yeah, so swimming in the summer, and then I played rugby league in the winter. Really enjoyed my footy. And then in summer I also played a bit of cricket as well, but I was no good at cricket.
Fuck, cricket's woeful, man.
I know. I don't know why I played. I couldn't bat and I couldn't bowl, and there's no point playing if you're just a fielder. Even that's not much fun. I think I just did it to be with my mates, to be honest with you.
Do you watch it? I can't even watch it.
Nah, I don't even enjoy watching it, to be honest. The only sport that I really watch these days is a little bit of NRL, but not even that much. Before I used to be barely miss a game, but I think I've got a bit better stuff to do than sit and watch footy nowadays.
I feel the same, eh? Last year, I would sit there, watch every game, watch the reserve games. Now this year, I'm barely to watch a game. I'm just so busy.
Yeah, 100, me too. And I'm a Manly supporter too, so there's not much point watching football at the moment.
Tommy Turbo spewing, eh? Comes back and then does his shoulder.
Mate, I had my captain on him and he cost me my Supercoach finals, $2,000 down the drain. Filthy. I'm thinking about trading in all the Manly jumpers.
That's all right. I go for Tigers, not much better. They look good most years and then they just flop.
Yeah.
I'm kind of annoyed that they're getting rid of Benji. He's been playing some good footy. Doesn't deserve to be let go like that.
Yeah, it's a tough sport, isn't it? It's tough,
Exactly.
right?
You got to look at it as it's a business. It's not what we used to like growing up. As soon as it gets to that age, it's just business.
Yeah, you see it all in the footballers. Like, it's all just like, there's a few loyal ones for sure, but a lot just know their career's short, so they're just going for the money, which you can understand as well.
Mm. So, what were you like at school? Were you a rat bag?
No, I was actually a pretty good kid at school. Like, I was never like really academic, but I was like probably just like mid pack kind of thing. Like, I probably enjoyed school. Like, I was pretty like introverted, so I didn't have like a heap of close friends. Like, I probably had my two really good friends, and I kind of stuck with that a little bit. And then I was
Bro,
just
I
on the
can
edge
totally
of
relate,
a lot.
being such an introvert. Holy shit. My
Yeah, like I
circle
was
was
just
so
on the
small.
Yeah, I was on the edge of a lot of friend groups. Like, I kind of knew everyone, but was not super close with anyone. Which kind of like it that way. And it's kind of like, as I've gotten older, that's the way it probably still is, which is like I've got know a lot of people and like friends with everyone, but not super close with anyone kind of thing.
Yeah, just keep to yourself and do your own thing.
Yeah, well, nowadays I'm too busy as well. Like, when I worked at Essential, like I worked with a group of 13 guys, and sort of two or three of them were my best mates. So it was kind of a good time as well, like when I was seeing them every day. But nowadays, with like running my own business and family, like I understand the important friendship, but it's making the time for it.
Yeah, I only have a small circle of like four closer mates. That's all you need, really.
Yeah. But like, I mean, it's finding the people that are on the right page too. Like, that's something that I've struggled with a lot as well. Like, kind of back when I was playing rugby, like getting on with people who were doing things that probably wasn't like in the best line. So I've kind of tried to distance myself and pick like who I really want to spend time with that are probably going to lead me on the path that I want to go.
Do you think it's harder getting that close group of friends on the same page, being where you're from? Because they're usually, just they work, get their job, have their family, kids, and then just drink and stuff on the weekend. Not really
Yeah,
striving to kind of do bigger things in life.
yeah, 100%.
How's that affected you? A lot, or?
To be honest, like it's everything for me's probably happened at the time that I've had kids. So it's kind of been that's kind of been like an excuse as well, kind of thing, or not an excuse, but that's been like my time's been devoted there and I don't have the free time that I guess I once did. Business is a hell of a lot busier than what it once was. But I think you just make a decision to yourself, like not every time do I not fall back into old ways and whatnot. That's for sure. Like, you'd be kidding yourself to think. But, if I can try and just be like a little bit better version of myself each day, then that's kind of the goal, like not every day that's going to work, You are going to fall back into bad attitudes, bad habits, bad whatever. But, if 80-90% of the year I can just be like one little bit 1% better, I'll be more than happy with that.
At the end of the day, you're human. Everyone makes mistakes. That's life.
Yeah, that's right. And I just want to continually evolve. Like, to 12 months ago, 18 months ago, if I said I'd be sitting here, like, have my own podcast and be asked to be on other people's podcasts. Like, I was on another one on Sunday and then this one today. Like, that, I wouldn't have thought that was even a possibility. So it goes to show that, like, the sacrifices are, well, not that they're sacrifices, but the direction that I'm taking is the right one.
It's crazy looking back 6-12 months ago of how far you grow in that short amount of time. And like 6-12 months ago, I wouldn't be talking to you. Like I wouldn't really talk to anyone, like, because I was like very introverted, anxiety and stuff like that. And now I'm happy I can talk to most people. Like, I'm confident now.
Yeah, I think it's just getting over what other people think of you a little bit too, Like, I remember the first time, like, I'd try to do an Instagram story and flip the camera around on myself. I'd take 20 or 30 takes of it, before I'd upload the right one.
Yeah, I feel you.
Nowadays, I just flip it around, and if I bugger something up, I still just post it anyways because I don't really care what anyone thinks, Like, for the I don't know, however many percent that are taking the piss out of me, like, I don't really care, For the other, I could be if I change one person's life out of that post or have like one positive impact on someone, then it's well worth it.
Why do you think, I guess, us as a society really care what other people think about us?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's like, it's probably something that you grow out of. Like, I watch my kids and that, like Eli, for instance, will just dance around in front of anyone and they've just got no fear. But from something from the age of probably like, I don't know, he's only pretty young, he's not 3 yet, but from there to obviously going through your, primary school, teenage, you like get this bit of shame, I guess, about it. But if we could live, I guess, a little bit more like kids and not so much care what other people think, then I think it would be a huge positive.
Yeah, kids are so innocent. They don't care. But it's once they get to school, like they're like, it's so bad to fail and look like an idiot. It's like, come on, man, they're kids.
And I think that's the school system nowadays too. Like, it probably hasn't progressed along as well as what it should have either.
Nah, it's stuck in the Stone Age. That's why kids have so many problems these days.
Yeah, 100%. Like, uni used to always be the answer, but nowadays, like, there's people who are going starting successful businesses fresh out of school. Like, it's no longer like a thing that you have to go to uni or you have to do whatever. Like, for me, we'll probably get into it in a little while anyways, but I did an apprenticeship and I worked 8 years for someone else, and that was the biggest blessing. Like, if I would have went straight out of school and started to try to start my own business or whatever, like, I wouldn't have the work ethic and the drive and learn all them lessons that I needed to learn to do what I do now. Like, as much as I look back and think, geez, I wish I started this ages ago, like, it was actually a blessing the way that it works out. Like, I honestly believe that everything happens for a reason.
Exactly. What lessons do you believe, you learnt from that time?
For me, like, coming out of school, like getting that apprenticeship was at Essential Energy. So I did a linesman apprenticeship working on power lines. And yeah, did the 4 years and loved it. Like, I did love it. And then as it went on, got a little bit more responsibility and just started, I guess, running jobs on your own. And I kind of just got a little bit fed up with the paperwork. Like, I didn't sort of take into account that I'm getting paid a good hourly rate to do this paperwork and to stop, like, I guess, carrying on about it. But looking back, if I was back at Essential now, if I was back at Essential now, I would sort of have like a different outlook after running my own business, that I would, getting paid good money to do this paperwork. So just do it. It takes as long as it does. And that's what you got to do before you can do it. But yeah, I kind of fell out of love with the job. And as it turns out, there's a little bit of an incident. I ended up getting the sack. So that was kind of pretty hard going too, because that was the first time I'd really dealt with adversity. So yeah, it was actually, you got me good?
Yeah, good, mate.
Yeah, so it was actually, we had a big storm go through and we worked pretty much 16 hours back to back, 3 or 4 days in a row. And when it sort of got cleaned up, it was just what we used to do, like everyone would kind of have a beer. Anyways, it got found out that a few of us had a beer, and there was actually 3 of us who got the sack over it. So that was far from an ideal situation. Like, in a small town, you kind of like, when I got that job, everyone talks about like it's the job to get. And, like, I kind of pictured that I would be there forever. Like, it was a job that paid really well with really good super contributions. I used to work a 9-day fortnight that was 7:30 till 4. We'd get 5 weeks holiday a year. Like, it was just crazy. Like, it was a dream. And, like, while I did kind of say I fell out of love with it and I wasn't enjoying it, if that didn't happen, I would probably still be working there today and probably as unhappy as ever. But like, now I look back, during that time, I was spending so much time traveling in a vehicle and, just listening to the radio or whatever. And like, in that time, I could have been listening to audio books, listening to podcasts. Like, now I'm filthy that I never get to go anywhere far enough so that I get time to put it on, where I had the perfect opportunity. And, back at school, like, I never used to be a reader. All that time during Essential, like, I never read any books, was never interested in personal development. Like, the amount of time when we weren't busy at Essential that I spent on my phone on social media, like, it's just disgusting. We struggle to get a full day out of a phone battery, like.
Yeah.
But just like young, bad attitude. I'd only ever worked for my parents at the pool. So it's kind of just had to be. But, during that time too, like, I learned, like, how the bosses treated me, like I didn't like. Whether that was like they were getting pressure from above and whatnot, but like now I know running my own business and having my own staff, like I know how I don't want to treat them.
What sort of distances did you have to cover on that job?
Yeah, so one way was about 160 Ks was our furthest place. So fairly big distances.
Yeah, nice.
Other ways kind of be 50, but yeah, anywhere. Like it'd be nothing some days to spend 3 or 4 hours in a vehicle, you know, like, and some jobs are just there, you know, half an hour back in the vehicle somewhere else, half an hour back in the vehicle somewhere else. Some days you drive out, change power pole, you'd be there all day, then you drive back to town. But, you know, most of the days you only really did your 8 hours, and a fair bit of that time was spent in the vehicle.
God, looking back, all those podcasts you could have listened to, mate.
I know, that's right. But anyways, like you can look back and you can whatever, but it is what it is. Exactly. And it was like.
So the changing moment was you got the sack. What made you dive into the whole fitness industry?
Yeah, so I was 17 when I got my apprenticeship. I'd finished year 11 at school. I was about to start year 12. I never started year 12. And from sort of that, I'd kind of finished playing under 16s football, and I'd kind of stopped swimming and all of that, and kind of all my sport kind of stopped. And obviously I was still living at home for a bit, but then I moved out of home and just got lazy with packing my lunch, would eat from the service station and whatever. So I went from sort of 85 to 105 kilos.
Shit.
I'm not sure what the defining kind of moment was, but obviously I've looked in the mirror and said, like, the fuck have you done here? Am I allowed to swear on here?
Yeah, all good, man.
Anyways, yeah, so pretty much it was probably like a 2-year journey to get back to that 80 kilos. Like I got back into the gym and then probably started with nutrition. I tried every single diet plan under the sun, literally. I did low fat, I did low carb, I did keto, I did Weight Watchers, I did meal replacement shakes. Have
you tried carnivore diet?
No, I haven't. My brothers give it a go, and I've kind of ummed and ahed a little bit with it, but like, who wants to give up carbs? Like,
yeah. Have you tried vegan?
No, I haven't tried vegan. I've read a lot about it, and I
did for 2 days, and guess what I watched before that? Fucking Game Changers.
Game Changers. Yeah. I mean, I watched half of Game Changers, and I was like, this is a load of shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so that's like was a 2-year kind of journey, I guess, was getting back from that 105 back down to got around 80 kilos. So I learned a lot of lessons in that time. And then once I sort of got that fitness back up and was kind of on that path, I started playing rugby. So that was kind of a time of my life as well. Rugby was like a hell of a party in Condo. The first year I started, we won a grand final, and then, you know, made the grand final after that, but then slowly went downhill from there. But anyone who knows rugby knows it's probably the football's like half of it. You know, we'd go to training on a Thursday night, go to the pub, have dinner, get home probably midnight, and then you're kind of too hungover on a Friday to do anything. And then on a Saturday was rugby day. And then after rugby was always a big night or a bus trip or whatever. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. And that's what kind of, I guess, getting back to where I felt comfortable and getting back into fitness, then I felt comfortable to then go back out onto the footy field. But yeah, then from there, I don't know why I done this, but at Essential Energy towards the back end, like when I actually got the sack, I was halfway through my Cert 4 course for being a PT. I don't really know why I did it looking back. I don't know. Like, I know why I did it because I had a big interest in health and fitness. But anyone who's done the Cert 4 would know that you don't really learn anything out of doing the Cert 4. Like, it's all just a load of shit and skims over the top of everything and goes into no detail whatsoever. But yeah, it was the best thing that happened that I had started it. So as soon as that happened, then I just knuckled right in and finished it off. And I knew right from the moment it happened what I was going to do. But I would have never dreamed of that it's gone into what it has today, that's for sure.
So Logan Thorpe Fitness, that's what the name of it is?
Yeah.
How many clients did you start off with?
To be honest, I probably started with 5, like from the moment that I said I was going to do it. And most of them were probably just my friends. So yeah, I just started with the vision that I was going to do like a couple of boot camps a week and then one-on-one PT. And then as I got into it, I kind of realized that I didn't enjoy personal training. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a place for personal training, but most people can't afford to do the sessions they want to do to get, sessions they need to do to get the results they want to get.
Yeah, PT is expensive.
Yeah, 100%. And just like spending time one-on-one in the room with people like for an extended period of time, like I felt like when I went to group training, I could be more of myself and I could inspire more people, and more people inspired other people in that group environment. So it was actually a real movement camp that I went on. It was in February. So I just, are you familiar with Real Movement Project?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So Keegan Smith, he was a strength and conditioning coach for the Roosters. Then he kind of went out on his own. Anyways, I was looking online one day for a program pretty much just for myself, and I come across this Real Movement Project, and I kind of sent in my details, and then you know how it works with marketing, someone rings you up.
Yep.
Anyways, so started like LTF started in January, and this is around the time, and he rings me up and he's like proposes this deal to me that it's like $5,000, and there's a camp in Brisbane on the, like, let's just say 5th of February. Like, it's got the sack. I'm trying to set up a gym. I got like no money. I honestly don't know, looking back, how I made it happen, but just like something about it just felt right. And that's how I've gone with everything that I've ever done since I started LTF. If it feels right, yeah, trust my gut. Anyways, like that camp that I went on was literally life-changing. Like that's where I got the idea to go into this kind of semi-private style training. Like I showed up there and they were like, you know, to us, like lots of challenges. Like we trained super hard for 4 days. Anyone who knows Real Movement Project, like it's about deep conversations. It's about like striving to be the best version of yourself. But yeah, so like they said to me, can you demonstrate a kettlebell swing? And I was just like, yeah, pick it up and you just swing like from between your legs. And they're like, no, like it's, you know, it's a hip hinge. You start with the kettlebell behind you, take the pressure off your back. Kettlebell should be nice and close to your hips. And there's like a lot more to it. So like I learned so much about coaching in that. One of Keegan's mottos for the weekend was a quiet coach is a hungry coach.
Yep.
And that kind of resonated really well with me because I was such a naturally quiet. That sat with me. Like I march up and down the gym, top of my voice, and it's just like where I feel. I've had friends come in the gym and they're like, where does this come from? I've never seen this side of you before. So like, it's just like I call it my coach's voice, I guess. But yeah, just little stuff I got out of that, like literally changed the trajectory of the way I was going as a coach. So as soon as I come back, like I'd kind of set up my parents had built me a shed. It was a pretty small shed. Set it up for one-on-one PTs. Then I come back and I transitioned into the group environment. But I didn't want to just do like group training, like outdoor boxing, this and that. I knew the benefits of strength training, and I wanted to combine that with conditioning and mobility and put my own spin on it. And eventually kind of outgrew that shed. And then we extended the shed. And so that required more money to buy more equipment. And then we kind of grew out that shed. And then I've moved into town to a bigger facility, which was then like more. Ago, we did a pretty big renovation to that gym, and now it's kind of like I feel like this is the place that I can have the real impact that I want to have. But anyone who runs their own business knows that you put your heart and soul into it for a couple of years and you really don't make money for that time. But you know, it was like really lucky that, you know, my wife Melissa really supportive, and you know, I'm glad that honestly, if I didn't go to that Real Movement camp, and I kept doing one-on-one PTs, I really don't think that I would still be in the industry. And the rate of people that drop out of the industry is crazy.
On that course in Queensland, how does someone from Condobolin get to Queensland? Do they travel? Where's the closest airport?
Literally, we drove. Me and Melissa drove up there for the 4-day course, and when we come back, we had 2 days in Byron back home.
How many hours?
13-hour trip.
Yeah, nice. Did you drive
Just
each other
like,
crazy or what?
yeah, I don't know what. Just like I just look back, I was like, how did I like start a business? I was buying all that stuff. How did I like just tell these new clients who've been training with me for a month? Okay, I've been here a month now. I'm just going to take a week off, all right?
Hmm. Where were you getting the cash from? Because gyms are not cheap. Were you racking up credit cards or?
100%. When I got the sack, I before anyone would have knew, I got onto the NAB and I jacked my credit card as high as it could possibly go. Looking back, very, very stupid, but it was the only way I would have got the funding. And with Essential, like I was there, it was 2 months shy of 10 years. And I thought that you got long service accrued after 5 years, but you could never use it to 10 years. But
Yeah.
if you left, get sacked, you don't get the money. So I remember when I got that phone call, like I was chasing it up to say, you don't get it. That's the reason why. I was gutted. I just laid on the lounge, cried. I was like, well, it was like 13 weeks pay. So it was probably $13,000 that I was kind of heavily relying on.
Yeah. Shit. So what's the big difference between, one-on-one and small group training? Besides the group size?
Yeah, pretty much just like the clients see someone else doing something that you're asking them to do, and they feel more inclined that they can do it. I've had clients that I did one-on-one with, as soon as they went into the group environment, it's like they went up 3 extra levels. And, it's not hard to change an exercise for the most advanced right through to the most basic. If you're doing like, even today was like bar muscle ups. If you can't bar muscle ups, it was strict pull-ups. If you can't strict pull-up, it was ring rows. So it's pretty simple to modify an exercise for a group on the run.
When you get beginners as clients and they're not the most confident and they're scared to be in a group environment, how do you, I guess, pep them up and get them confident to be in that environment?
Yeah, we've just created an onboarding system probably in the last 6 or 8 months that's been game changing. So any client, no matter what training experience you've got, must go through the onboard system. And it's based as 3 PTs. I just sell it as a 21-day onboard. So the first week you do your PTs. If you get that done early, then you can jump into the groups. But pretty much in the 3 PTs, we go over all of the main movements we do, like ensure they move properly, ensure they squat properly, ensure they dead properly, sneak over the clean, and then just make them comfortable with the gym, make them comfortable with the coach so that they feel comfortable when they show up there. I think that was where we did struggle at a certain time. People would come into the gym and, like a class is there, everyone knows what they're doing, and they just felt out of their depth. So that has been game changing.
It's good that you're having small groups but still keeping it personable for your clients.
Yeah, so that's like my mission of the whole thing is to provide somewhere that I wish was available to me when I was going through it. Like I know if I had what I've got now, I could have shortened my weight loss journey from that 2 years or 18 months or whatever it was through to maybe 6 or 8 months. But like I sit down with all my clients, we sit down with our clients every 6 weeks, and we're always following up with them. We text message every 3 weeks to see if they need help with anything, because most people, like, they want to lose weight. So the first thing they in a gym, but really the training is for the mindset. The training isn't really for the weight loss. If you aren't going to look at your nutrition, then you're not going to lose weight.
You can't out-train a bad diet.
No, that's right. It's my favorite saying. I'm always saying it.
And on that, what's your, I guess, opinion on 6-week challenges and that? You see so many people do these 6-week challenges and then they just rebound.
Yeah, like I do have a 30-day challenge that I run in the gym, but the whole idea of my 30-day challenge is to build a foundation to create a lifestyle. Like I'm all about lifestyles. Like the thing is, everyone wants the easy option these days. Like they'll have that meal replacement shake for breakfast and lunch and have one meal a day to lose that 5 kilos. But when you stop doing that, the weight's only going to come back on. Like, you need to create a lifestyle around it. Like, something I say is like the 5 kilos didn't get on there in 5 weeks, so don't expect it to come off in 5 weeks. Like, sure, if you've got a bit of weight to lose and you're super strict and you do everything right, maybe it will come off at that rate. But if you're going to go and do something, it's like intermittent fasting. Like, everyone's like, oh, I do intermittent fasting. It's like, yeah, sweet, you don't have breakfast. What are you doing? You're creating calorie deficit. Excuse me. But if you're never going to eat breakfast for the rest of your life, sweet. Like, but if you plan on, once you get to that weight, then you're going to add breakfast in again, you're just setting yourself up for failure. And that's the thing. Like, people get so disheartened. I had one client who did a cabbage soup diet. I was like, what is that? Like, you pretty much just eat cabbage soup 4 meals a day. And I was like, and that diet's not failing them.
How are people meant to stay on diets like that? It's not sustainable.
No, that's right. And I'm kind of turned into a little bit of a James Smith follower, because he's so strict, and he was like happy to carry an extra few kilos when he's having a good time and he's relaxed his diet and everything like that. It's kind of like the approach I like. Like, if the weight loss isn't that important to you, you haven't got to be that strict. But if you really want to lose 5, 10, 15, even 2 kilos, you're going to have to be serious and strict for a certain amount of time. But once you get there, you jump out of a deficit, you jump into maintenance, you can increase your food, but you want to create good habits so that you can still kind of keep that 80-20 rule. But there's no such thing as 80-20 rule when you're trying to lose weight.
I think it's hard for clients as well, especially going on Instagram, seeing all these models, and bro, they do my head in selling these cookie cutter programs and supplements. Like, it must be hard for you to see when you're trying to earn like an honest living and work hard, and you see these fucking chicks showing their ass on Instagram and making heaps.
That's the thing. Like, they don't see that that girl's probably got herself into tip-top shape for that one weekend of photo shoots that she's hired a photographer and gone to a heap of different locations with a heap of different clothing, and there's her next 6 months worth of content, and then she's not in that shape. Like, she's not in that shape all year round. And it is hard because people get really disheartened, because it's a long, hard, slow journey. There's nothing easy about it. Like, it's full of sacrifices. If you've got, 20 kilos plus to lose, like, I always like to work off half a kilo a week, and people get really disheartened when you say half a kilo a week. That's 2 kilos in the first month. People are like, gee, surely I can lose 2 kilos in the first. Maybe you can if you're super strict, but if you're not super strict, you won't. But as soon as you go like that, 2 kilos a month, in 3 months, that's 6 kilos. In 6 months, that's 12 kilos. Like, that sounds pretty good, like 24 kilos a year.
It all adds up.
I've had people do it, but like, I'm constantly pulling my hair up, because all I want is for my clients to get the results they want. But like, I can only do so much. That's the thing. But if I could do it for them, I literally would.
Yes, and they love to compare themselves to these models too. Why? Drives me insane, honestly. That, I've got to say, that's probably the reason I stopped pursuing the fitness industry. I was like, it's full of bullshit. You got guys like yourself, working hard, honest, and then you have all this bullshit on the internet, like.
And they're selling you these like plans that are tailored to you, and it's a 12-week plan, and that's $49. Like, that ain't tailored to you. It's the same one that everyone else is buying off them. They can sell it for $49 because they're selling 1,000 of them.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Like, that would fucking piss you off, wouldn't it?
This is the thing about the fitness industry, though. It's like, it's not about who's the best coach. It's who's the best marketer. That's the thing. That's who's getting the clients and making the sales. Like, I think over time, the shit is going to get, like, has been and will be weeded out. But, if you can market, like, it's half the way there. But that's part of business too,
They need to regulate the industry so much more. It's not regulated at all.
it's so easy to get your PT ticket. Like really, you could probably do it in 2 or 3 months. And if you're down in Sydney, bang, you can go out, charge yourself $120 an hour probably. Like where can you do that? In what
Yeah.
other industry or job?
Do you follow a guy called Christian Woodford?
No, I don't.
Get onto him. He's in Melbourne. Like he does strength and conditioning and that, runs his own private sector. Man, that guy is so passionate about his health and fitness, and he's always calling out all these fucking Instagram models and putting shit on them, like saying how fake they are and shit. Like he's fucking awesome. He was on, not Joe Rogan, this other big strength and conditioning guy in America. He actually got on his podcast. He's pretty big.
Yeah, how good.
Yeah, definitely give him a follow. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line too. Like I think James Smith is kind of a little bit on the edge as well. Like sometimes you just got to stay in your own lane and just keep cruising along, and let everyone just work it out for themselves. And that's kind of just the road that I kind of follow too. Like being pretty to myself and whatever. Like I'm probably, as much as I'd love to say some things about, like there's some local people and stuff that are selling like isogenics and showing all the results they're getting and whatever, but they're just setting people up for failure, and it drives them out the wall, but let people learn. Like I learned the hard way, and I'll just keep chipping away, and anyone who really wants to make a change, I'll be here when they're ready.
How did COVID affect you guys?
Bro, unbelievable, So like it was like probably up there with like losing my job, I guess. Like it was just so disheartening, like to have something that you poured your heart and soul into for 3 years, just like have to close the doors with no notice. But like what was laying on the lounge sooking about it going to do? So I just like got the work, and I just put a video up on my private Facebook group. I was like, this is just the way it is. I'm going to go above and beyond for anyone who wants to continue. I'm going to loan out my gear. I'm going to get his programs. We'll chat weekly. I'll keep you accountable. Who's in? I was like, I'm not going to waste your time if you're not interested, and, you're not going to waste mine. So anyways, I think I had 30 plus clients say, yep, let's go. So I pretty much give out all my equipment in the gym. And it was like I tried to train at the gym there for a while, but I just brought a little bit of equipment home because it was so disheartening going into the place and there being nothing there. I went down there to squat one day. I had a barbell. I had a set of 25s and a set of 15. So I did the bar set at 50, set at 70, and then a set at 100. I was like, well, this is what I got to work with. But yeah, like as it turns out, like looking back, like I honestly believe that in every situation it happens for a reason, and you learn some lessons from it. And since COVID, like the way our gym runs now with the new regulations runs better than ever before. So we've got our gym kind of marked. Before we used to share equipment and whatnot, where now we don't share anything. So I've got 10 squat racks that run down the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, I've got 10 pieces of cardio machines, like air bikes, rowers, ski ergs. So they're all boxed up. You come in, you go to your box. Like, so before we'd be buggerizing around, changing weights between partners, and then like always sharing cardio machines. And where now it's like, that's your square, that's your machine. If you've got your air bike, deal with it. That's the way it is. And the way it runs now, so much better. So many people have said how much they like just knowing that's their machine. They don't have to look when they're walking to it to see who's going to it. They don't have to share their bar with anyone. And I've actually cut the classes back to 45 minutes from 60-minute classes, and just kind of cut out the shit so people can leave home, get their training session done, and classes each week. And like at the end of 45 minutes, I'm normally on the ground thinking, geez, I'm glad that's not a minute longer kind of thing. Like it's just, it's shorter, you go harder.
Yeah, exactly. Busting your ass. That's all you want to see.
Yeah, but at that time, like it was hard for sure. So
did you guys move online? Did you do online classes?
Yeah, so I did there was two options. Like I did a Zoom class morning and afternoon, but I didn't just want to do your generic bodyweight Zoom because I don't believe in that. So I just kind of clients had boxes, they had kettlebells, they had dumbbells, and that was kind of the stuff that I built a workout with the Zoom classes. And that was kind of just a sort of 20-minute or half an hour, like kind of sweat session. And then I did another kind of program that they could do, like, was just trying to tailor it for everyone. So there's you could just do the program that I sent out, get on the Zooms if you want to, not just check and see how you're going. Some people do the Zooms and the program, and some people just only do the Zooms because they like that community vibe. So it worked really well. And to be honest, there was probably like 6 or 8 weeks ago that looked like gyms were going to close again, and I sort of sat down with my coaches and we sort of built out a plan that would have worked better than the plan that we had before. But I mean, hopefully we don't have to use it, but it's there if we need it.
How big's your team?
So I've got 3 other coaches. So I've got Kelly, who's kind of my head coach. She actually used to run the other gym, and she gave me my first job in a gym back in the day, back when I was at high school. And Morgan, she's a hairdresser in town. She doesn't work Mondays, so she does Monday afternoons for me. And then Tate has kind of started with me just since post-COVID. He's doing he finished. He's just doing like an intern role. So that's been really good to have to have him be able to be in as many classes as he has. He does classes with Morgan, he does classes with Tony, he does classes with me. So he's kind of got to learn a little bit off us all, which is he's really earned his time so that when he goes into the classes running, like he pretty much runs them on his own now anyways, but when we're not there, I know he's going to be sweet and he's going to do a good job. Like any other coach that comes on, like this kind of the avenue that I want them to go down from now on anyways.
Yeah. When hiring, what kind of core values are you looking for?
Yeah, it's hard too when you're in a small town. Like you just can't put out a job and someone with a Cert 3 or 4 ticket's just going to pop up. Like that's something I've struggled with in the past. But what I'm looking for is just willingness to learn and be able to communicate with people. Like that's the hardest part, I think, is like people in all walks of life, because that's why people come to group training, because they like that community atmosphere.
I've seen a lot of pictures and videos of the gym. It's a pretty nice gym. Congrats, bro. I love it.
Yeah, it's sick. It's about 30 meters long. So down one wall runs 10 squat racks. And then, yeah, it's the mural that I got done just over COVID too. So I got a big David Goggins and big Michael Jordan at the back of the gym. So, yeah, it's kind of finished it off. And, yeah, it's just in my nature. Like I do everything properly. And like when I want stuff, I want like the good gear because
don't half-ass it, man.
Nah, that's right. And it's how I run. Like I charge a premium price, but I offer a premium service, and the gym represents the service they're going to get when they walk in the door.
Yeah, and people are happy to pay that.
Yeah, that's right, 100%. People who are serious about it anyway, that's for sure.
So with COVID, it gave you a lot of time to focus on yourself. What kind of areas did you work on?
Yeah, it sure did. So I really dove deep into the podcast. I was trying to punch 2 to 3 podcasts out a week. I started a blog. I did a few vlogs and just like dove into some real movement projects, coach education. I read a lot. I actually did 75 hard during COVID. So have you heard of 75 hard?
Yeah. I would love to say I finished it, but I didn't because I fucking didn't take the photos.
Yeah, no, I would still say that you finished it. Like that is the most, the hardest part, I guess, isn't it?
It's the easiest, but the hardest because you just forget about it.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, it's Andy Frisella challenge. So yeah, I guess anyone who doesn't know, it's 2 sessions a day, and one of the sessions have to be outdoors and they have to be 45 minutes long. So normally I would just do a gym session and then I would do a 45-minute walk. That was kind of my routine. And then you pick your meal plan and you just stick to whatever it is, like based around your goals. And there's a few other things. Can't even think of them. Top of my head, the photos one, 4 litres of water.
Reading 10 pages, wasn't it?
10 pages a day too, yeah. So, and that's like 10 pages is hard for me some days. So like if you leave it till just before bed, like it gets hard. Like, and
I fall asleep.
I still to this day haven't locked in like a time where I could just time block 45 minutes to read. It's just when I get to bed, I just open up the book then. But I want to, that's something I really want to work on.
What are you reading at the moment?
Is it Money Master the Game by Tony Robbins?
Money. Yeah, that's it. How are you finding that book?
Mate, to be honest, I'm probably 20 pages in, but I like the way that it's rolling. I just finished Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Yeah,
I've been trying to get a little bit finance educated.
So with the gym, where are you looking to take it? How big do you want to go?
To be honest, pre-COVID, I'd been and looked at places in Forbes. Like I was pretty keen to extend kind of to my neighbouring towns. Like I know there's an opening in Forbes. Like I have probably 10 plus people in Forbes who I speak to regularly that just like what I do, who I guess like want to be a part of it. They travel to Condo to train every now and then. They're always listening and reading my stuff. And so it's kind of like a no-brainer. The CrossFit gym closed over there. Not that I'm CrossFit, but it's pretty similar to that is kind of the theory that I run by. And there's only an Anytime Fitness there and the population's 10,000 people. But, you know, as it turns out, during COVID, I kind of come to the realization that Condo isn't going good enough just yet. Like I need to get Condo going better before I even think about that. Now that I've got, you know, going to have 3 kids under 3, I don't know if that's an avenue that I do want to go down or I don't. Like I do, but I need to be sure. Like at the time, I was kind of advertising for a coach around Forbes and didn't really get any feedback that I was really happy with. So I don't know, like long term, like Condo, I want to have it. I've got 60 members now. I want to have 150, 200. That's definitely possible. Like if you would have told me back in the day I had 60, I would have been over the moon, satisfied, pumped with that. Still walk down the street. There's still a lot of people that aren't training at my gym that I feel like I could have a big impact on. So I'm saying 150, 200, and then definitely look into the Central West. But I want to make sure that I've got the team to do it. Like, you know, it's only once that I'm going to see my kids growing up, so I don't want to sacrifice that either.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm just not driven by money. That's the thing either. Like, I feel like if you do a good job at whatever you do, then money's just going to come.
Yeah.
I'm not driven by money, that's for sure.
Just focus on impacting people and the money will come.
100.
What would you say is, I guess, the biggest lesson you've learned through business thus far?
Oh, geez. Where do you start, eh? That's the thing. Like, there's so much. Like, now I look back, like, I thought I was starting a business. All I was doing was creating a job for myself. That's what I was doing. But, like, as it turns out now, like, to run a business, it's, you know, it's dealing with staff and teaching staff and, you know, systems. Like I didn't even have any systems not long ago. It's like, well, how can you have staff if you don't have systems? But then like just social media and the importance of that to business. And then you could go down the road of advertising, like Facebook advertising, email marketing and all of that. Like it's just so much to learn. And I absolutely love business. Like that's probably my true passion that I've come out of this. Like I love fitness, but that also gives me an avenue to do what I really love, which is run a business. And like hopefully, you know, I can do that on a bigger scale. Like I'm kind of always coming up with new ideas of stuff that I can do. Like I'm always looking and searching, but like the thing is I'm not like while I'm an action taker, I'm like pretty realistic too, you know, like it's not easy to start businesses.
Yeah. I love business. Like it can start so small and you can possibly grow it into something so big. That's what I love about it.
100%. And it's just like, it's knowing sometimes too, like, is business for you? Because like, I don't have a day off. Like I wouldn't know the last time that I didn't do any sort of work for a day, you know, like I go on holidays, I still get my laptop out. I'm still doing something at some point. Like I think that's the mentality you got to have if you really seriously want to run a successful business. And that's not for everyone. Like I know my wife, for instance, like business isn't for her. Like I send her, if I tell her that I'd like something done, like I want it done like today or, you know, by tomorrow. And she was like, oh, yeah, I'll get to that kind of next week, you know? Like, I'll send her a blog to read. Like, this is just the day, like 10 days ago, I'll probably send her a blog to read. I said, have you read that blog for me yet? No, I'll do it tonight. But you've really got to, like, you've got to take your opportunities, don't you? That's the thing. Like, it's...
You only live once.
But then it was sales too. Like, I hated doing sales calls. Like, run a Facebook ad, but then if you get 20 leads, you've got to make 20 phone calls. And when you live in a town that you know everyone, that can be a little bit daunting too. But, you know, they've entered their details. They want you to ring them. And, like, it's just getting that mentality. Like, is it really a sales call? Like, if you're giving them the opportunity that they can change their life, like, I've got the tools that can really help them.
Yeah. On business, how do you balance that with, I guess, the relationship with your partner and your kids? Like, how does that impact those relationships?
Bro, I'm still trying to get the balance right. Hey, like, that's the thing. Like, I get satisfied by work too. Like, that's a big part of me. Like, I enjoy it. Like, I love what I do. But yeah, it's like something that I'm still working on to this day, is getting that balance right, you know, like just trying to get the stuff done Monday to Friday that I need to do. So I, you know, don't have to, you know, yesterday, for instance, like write 21 social media posts, which takes, you know, a couple of hours.
Yeah, it would be hard. Like, I go through the same thing with me and my partner. Because I'm a workaholic. I just love grinding and fucking creating content and shit. And it's hard sometimes trying to do all this and then give your time to your partner. It's like, oh God, it's so hard.
For sure. I think, like, before too, like, I used to think I was busy just for the sake of being busy, where now, like, when I'm done, I'll just close my laptop and go do whatever. Like, I have, like, good systems, good lists, good everything. That's been, like, if you can get all your stuff done in 2 hours, there's no point being in the office 4 hours. That's for sure.
Exactly. Talk to me about goal setting and planning. How important is it, and what's your system behind all that?
Yeah, like, a goal without a plan is really just a wish, isn't it? So, like, it's one thing to have a goal, but if you haven't got a plan to lead you towards that goal, that doesn't matter if it's a goal that you can achieve next week or a goal that you can achieve in 6 months. You need to have a plan. Like, if it's a 6-month goal, what do I need to be done in 3 months? What do I need to be done in 1 month? Like, have a plan that's achievable to get to that goal. I think most people set their goals unrealistic. That's kind of, you know, they're setting themselves up for failure right from the start. Like, if you have got a 6-month goal, what if you could shorten it and you get it done in 5 months? That's sweet. But if you get like 2 months in and you're not even in the ballpark of achieving it, then you're instantly just not going to keep taking them steps, are you?
Yeah, it's all good to set a big goal, but you got to reverse engineer it and do all the steps that it's going to take to get to that big goal. People just set that big goal and just go ham trying to get it and have no plan.
100%. Like, what does that goal look like? What does the person look like who does that? Like, for me, like, I want to be, like, say my goal is I want to try and maintain under 10% body fat. And, you know, mine are mainly gym-based goals. But what does that look like? I have to go to the gym 5 to 6 times a week. You know, I want to nail my nutrition 5 to 6 days a week. I want to, you know, get sort of 6 to 7 hours sleep every night, you know, like, it's reverse engineering it like that.
You got all your goals on the wall there? I see you looking.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. They need updating, actually. It's sort of COVID put a little bit of a hit on it. But, yeah, I'll kind of break them down too into 4 different areas. So I got, like, family goals, health and fitness goals, personal goals, and business goals.
Yeah, nice. So I guess what's a tip for someone wanting to get into the fitness industry and start their own gym?
Go and get experience from someone who's done it. Like, that's what I probably didn't do. Like, I went in a little bit blind, but go and work for someone who's elite at what they do. Like, you haven't got to work for someone who's good at what they do for very long to get the tips. Like, go and work for free, you know, like, who's doing good, and most people are more than accommodating to help. Like, just don't think you know everything. That's the thing. The health and fitness industry is forever evolving. So if you think you know everything, you've already failed, that's for sure.
Talk to me about your podcast. What was the thought process about starting that?
Gary V.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, so I I went to an event in Sydney. Me and my brother did a dash to Sydney. So we I coached the 7 p.m. session. So we got in the car at 8 o'clock, drove to Sydney. We got to Sydney at about midnight the night before. We got up and we went to the conference. So sort of listened to all the speakers. Co and Ray was there. I'd never heard of him. Now I'm a big fan of him. I wanted to nail it and scale it one day soon. Even Grant Cardone, I had no idea who that bloke was, but man, and that was cool. And then, Gary came on, and it's like anything that Gary Vee says, like I'm not the biggest, like listen to everything that Gary Vee says. Like I wish I could a little bit, like I kind of struggle to take him in a little bit. But one thing he said was, if you don't have a podcast, start a podcast tomorrow. It's the next thing. And when I was driving home, I was like, no one in condos does a podcast. I don't even know if anyone in Parks or Forbes do a podcast. I don't even, sure there'd be people in Orange, but I haven't heard. I was like, this is, but anyways, it wasn't that easy, like got the equipment. I think the first episode, like I was trying to do it. I was stopping it. I was starting it. Like I remember going inside and saying, fuck this, I'm done. I can't do it. Like this isn't for me. And nowadays, like I recorded I'm back the other day because I had sort of 2 months off, and like just one hit, just speak. If it doesn't go, if you say something that's not quite right, just correct yourself on the run, and it is what it is. Like you can't, the thing about content is you can't just expect it to be perfect.
You got to be authentic.
That's it. You just got to get it out there.
Where do you want to take the podcast? Do you have goals for that?
To be honest, like the first goal I have is just to get it to 50. Like I've already some of the guests that I've been able to get on. Like I would have never been able to, go spend an hour and speak to them. Like I had Sonny Webster on. Like that was a cool thing to have. Like I've got, who have I got? It's even hard to think back. Sam McCall. So I went to, it's called Upgrade Your Life in Sydney. David Goggins spoke there. It was over the Australia Day. Long weekend.
Yep.
Anyways, here I go to this thing, and I think the like main person I'm here to see is like David Goggins, but this Sam McCall like blew me away. Anyways, I bought his book, read his book, and then end up flicking him an email to say, hey, would you jump on my podcast? And then like a few little back and forwards with whoever his VA is, and sweet, it was booked in. Like was more than happy. So like just to be able to have conversations one-on-one. Like Alexa Townley, she's top of the line in health and fitness, works at 98 Riley Street.
You had Travis Young on, didn't you?
Yeah, Travis Young.
Yeah,
like
big bloke too.
I've heard, like it's just crazy that if you reach out, who's just actually prepared to jump on.
The power of social media, it's very good, but so bad at the same time.
Do you know, have you heard of Dave Tabane? Calls himself Power Man?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I did a podcast with him, man. That bloke's energy like just blew me away. Like here's another one. He come to Condo and ran like a challenge for me, and like he has just had a big impact as well, like on, what's possible and just the ability to present and all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy how just flicking a message can get someone on your podcast, and they're so open and honest to come on to, like they're happy.
I've been brushed once and I've sent a fair few messages, which is pretty cool. Like you'd expect to be brushed 50% of the time, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's like me. I've only been brushed a few times, and I sit there all day and just send messages, and a lot of them say yes. I'm like, yeah, sweet. Now I've got to book all these people in.
Yeah, and that's the joys. But I guess the people we're chasing are the authentic ones. They're not the ones that are full of shit and not doing the work. Like they're people who are doing the work. They're leaders in the industry, and like a kid from Condo to be able to, get someone who's a leader in the industry and chat with them, whether it's in person or via Zoom. Like, I don't care if no one listens to my podcast. Like, I've got to spend an hour with that person. Like, I don't even really look at the numbers. It is what it is, No.
Even if you impact one person, that's all that matters. And it's about for yourself growing as a person too.
It's cool to get messages too, from, podcasts to say that, I really like that you said this, or, even if it's bit of feedback or criticism, like I'm open to that, that's for sure.
Are you still the only one in Condo with a podcast?
Yeah
Nice.
It's been good though. Like I've been able to get some of my clients on that have had good results. which gives them like an avenue. Like I did one with my 3 coaches today, and like a couple of them hadn't done anything like it. They were super nervous. So you're putting them in an uncomfortable situation. Then the survey, they were like, oh, that was pretty cool. Actually, it wasn't as bad as I thought. Like, let's do it monthly. So like, like a couple of, I did one with like Karen. She had like a really good weight loss story. She was one of my clients. I did one with Heidi. She was like a local yoga teacher and one of my clients. First time she'd done it, she was pretty nervous. We redid it because she wasn't that comfortable. But, it was an avenue for them too, like, which is pretty exciting.
Tell you what I love about it. These people that jump on, they can always go back and look at it and see how far they've come as well. And I also love your kids, when they grow up, they can go back and see where you started to where you are. That's what I love about documenting, podcasting, vlogs and all that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Hey? Like, that's like one of my sort of cool business ideas that I like really want to do is kids clothing.
Yep.
Because my kids are like wild, and like it's all about documenting the journey. Like, that's what people fall in love with. And I feel like I could tell a good story with my kids, through just entertainment alone, but then, education through what I know about nutrition towards kids. Like, that's somewhere that, I don't know, maybe one day.
100%, bro. You should start that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything holding you back from starting that?
Not really, mate. Just time. That's the main thing.
Yeah, true.
It's just hard to keep your main thing the main thing too.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you have time, what are your hobbies?
Mate, my hobbies are pretty much based around bettering myself. Like, I love just getting out and going for a walk and listening to a podcast. Like, I don't get to do that near as much as I'd like. Like, I love training. Like, I could train every day. But like, my brother rang me up the other day and said, do you want to go have a game of golf? And I was like, never ring me up and ask if I want to have a game of golf. I hate golf. And he's like, what about your good golf sticks? I was like, I hate golf that much. You can come and get my golf sticks and have them if you want. Anyways, he showed up and took me golf sticks, so I won't be going to play golf. But yeah, just like the time I get, mate, I just want to spend it with my boys. Kind of, that's where I'm at. And then other than that, I just want to grow LTF and give my members the best possible service that I can give them.
So you do a lot of personal development podcasts, reading. Do you do?
I need to find a hobby. I know that.
Yeah. I've
been told that many times.
Yeah. Do you do ice baths, meditation, any other sort of personal development?
Yeah, so I've got an ice bath at the gym, and I did get a good run of cold showers. I got 300 days back to back with cold showers. I kept the tally. I was actually lied. It was 298 days. And
how many minutes?
Tonsillitis, so kind of just pulled the pin. I was like facing up to get in the cold shower, feeling like shit, and I was like, why am I even doing this? Does it even matter anyway that I've done it 300 days? No one cares. And so then I just didn't do it. So, and I haven't done one since. So it was the middle of winter though, and it was, getting hard. But to start with, I was just getting in and just like having a hot shower, then banging it off and doing like the last 30 seconds cold. But then I was just like, got to the stage, it was just go full cold, get in, try it 1 minute, and then get out. You feel amazing after it. It's like, I used to think anyone who said that was a wanker, but you actually do. And then middle of winter in Condo, I've got a pool. So I did go for a stage where I was getting in the pool as well. But going to ice baths at the gym, I do have a freezer, like one of the freezer setups. So I do ice bath. It's not actually, it's been out of action since COVID, but I need to give it a clean and get back into it. Like,
how much do one of those cost to set up?
It was just the cost of the freezer, hey, and then just sealed it. There's nothing special about it. Just turn the freezer on and off.
Yeah, sweet. I want to look into getting one of those. I thought they were expensive.
Nah. I've got a sauna at the gym too, and same again. I haven't been in the sauna for probably 12 months, maybe. Like, it's been a long time, but I actually wrote out my goals for the week this week and put the sauna on it, and I want to get that ice bath cleaned out. But going on to meditation and stuff, like, I've tried it in the past and I've got some like good street shoes and headspace and stuff, but I just haven't been able to lock it in, and I'm not sure it's for me, which is what everyone says at the start kind of thing. I'm sure it is for me, but just like with 2 kids that are up super early and I go to
quiet environment.
My class starts at 5 a.m. Like, don't get to bed to get enough sleep, like getting up at 4 or 4:30 to meditate, like it's just not going to happen at the moment. Like at some stage, like I do want to explore that path, and I have done like meditation stuff and Wim Hof stuff before, but I haven't been able to lock it in regular routine. It's same as journaling. Like I know when I was doing that, like I probably did feel better within myself, but I just haven't been able to lock it in as well. Like say for instance, I normally get up and I train in the mornings. But then when I get home, it's kids, like through the shower, getting them ready, like getting myself through the shower, getting myself ready to get back to the gym to coach or get into the office. And then the other mornings I coach, first session starts at 5, so I'm up at 4:30 and sort of at the gym at 4:45. And yeah, I think there's a place for journaling meditation, but I just haven't been able to lock it in. Like maybe for me it's before bed, but I don't know.
Yeah, I find it hard sometimes to meditate. My mind just keeps bloody ticking. Some days I just can't relax.
Up your mind.
Yeah. So take me back to a time, what was your biggest struggle in life and how did you overcome it?
Probably going through that job loss at Essential, and just that it happened with a couple of other blokes. Like that was super hard seeing them going through it, like that was at a time where it was literally the day before was mine and Melissa's first wedding anniversary, and like the only spot that's super nice to go for dinner is like the Motor Inn in town, and that's where like all the people who were coming out to interview me the next day were staying, so they would have been there for dinner and all of that, and we're trying to have a kid, and you lose your job and you're just like kind of in two minds, especially when it's such a good job, like such a well-paying job, like had a mortgage and all of that. So that was definitely, one of the biggest struggles. How'd I get through it? Like, I don't know, looking back, to be honest, but it was just day by day. And I guess had this vision in the back of my head that, but in saying that, like the vision, what it isn't what LTF is now either. Like it's grown so much more over time, like just because it's what you thought it was, like it could potentially be completely different or so much more.
Yeah. What is your why for getting out of bed every morning?
To help people make the change that they want to make. Like I know people, like the key to success is accountability. Like I have accountability around my business. I have accountability around my training and my nutrition. Like, so I need to give that to other people. So I honestly feel like the chances of you getting your weight loss with someone holding you accountable would probably be 80 or 90% higher than having no one holding you accountable.
Do you look up to anyone? Like who inspires you?
It's a combo of a lot of people, mate. Like Nick Bowditch has a really good outlook on life. Like James Smith has, like, I'll take some of his stuff. Like Business Ice, I take a lot of his stuff, which sort of comes directly from Gary Vee. Health and fitness, like I got a lot out of Travis Jones with business. I don't have any sort of one person that I really look up to, but there's a lot of people that I'm, watching that stuff.
Just picking different pieces from everyone.
Yeah, like Keegan Smith, like had like a big play, but then a lot of his stuff, like he just didn't understand, like just general population, or I didn't believe anyways, like not everyone's going to go and eat, lamb hearts and liver and, not use deodorant because of the toxins and, all of that kind of stuff. So it's like somewhere in the middle of, bit from him. But like, I think like with Keegan's, like a lot of people can do with a lot more raw conversation, too.
Where do you see yourself in the next few years? Do you have a vision?
So, like, it's crazy to think, but if you just keep progressing like this, like who knows? Like to think that I would be sitting here now, like 2 years ago, wouldn't believe it. Like even speaking as well as I am, like writing as well as I am, like not super clear at the moment, but Yeah, I mean, like I'd love to, play a part with other businesses, like maybe in business coach role, maybe it's I've got other businesses, maybe it's I've got 5 LTFs in the Central West. Like I'm not 100% yet sure yet, but like I know I'm just beginning. Like that's the thing. And it sounds a little bit stuck up, but I know like I'm not anywhere near where I'm going to be.
That's
sure.
awesome. I'm on the same page. I'm like, I haven't even started yet. Like, fuck, I'm still building that foundation.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My last 2 questions for you. When your time's up on this earth, what would you like to be remembered for? And what's your definition of success?
I just want to be known for having a positive impact on my local community. Like if people think health and fitness in another, when I'm gone or whatever, I want them to, think like Logan played a huge role in the community, like the community or my life or someone they know's life. And then my definition of success is it's just being happy, like I think happiness is so underrated. Like so many people are in the grind and they're not happy and they're, just getting through day by day by day. But if you just keep doing that, that's all you're ever going to know. Like being happy to go to work, being happy to go hang out with the friends. Like one big thing that I really focused on like last or this year is saying no to the things that I don't want to do. If there's something I don't want to do now, I just don't do it. Like whether that's going to hang out with someone or whether it's, a party or can be something of my parents, I'll just say, nah, sorry. I'm too caught up in enough stuff, without doing stuff I want to do. But I think like your definition of success, if you're like bouncing out of bed every morning, like that's a good start. Like it's not money, it's not anything like that. It's just being happy and doing what I love, I guess, and having a happy, healthy family.
Yeah, that's why I love asking that question because everyone has a different definition, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on. We'll wrap it up here. It's been an awesome chat, mate. I guess where can the listeners give you a follow? Where's the best place to find you?
So I'm Logan Thorpe Fitness on Facebook and Instagram, or just Logan Thorpe, I think, is my own. Built for Better podcast. If you want to listen, I've got a few good ones on goal setting and some good guests on there that I've had. So
awesome, man. Once again, thank you for coming on. It's been an awesome chat, and keen to follow your journey, man, and see how far you go with the gym and everything else you do.
Likewise.
Awesome, man.
Thanks,
cheers.
All good, man.